characters, and in this particular culture, this is not supposed to happen. So what? You know, we have one set of ideas of what's real, which is a very limited one. It's become more and more limited as the centuries have gone on, so that, as poet Rilke said, in talking about the spirit world, the senses by which we can know the spirit world have atrophied. In other words, we don't even have the apparatus in our perceptual capability of knowing much more of reality. It's like we've lost the very senses to know beyond this limited physical horizon. See, behind all these questions, all these areas, all this talk about paradigm change and resistance is our worldview, or our cosmology, who we are. And so the relevance of what I do to that arena is that what I do is a kind of game breaker, because it tells us, wake up folks, things are different than you thought. That is, the Western worldview that I was raised in says that we are the top of the intellectual hierarchy in the cosmos, that any perception of God or intelligence is a projection of our own unconscious. I was raised to think that way as a Freudian, and that if people perceive other intelligences out there, then it's interpreted as some kind of psychological problem. But that would be the worldview. This phenomenon doesn't lend itself to it. This phenomenon says, no, that's all wrong. This phenomenon, if we take it seriously, which is to say that hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of human beings in the United States and around the world are being approached or being visited by some kind of intelligence. People call them alien because they're afraid of it. Beings of several sorts, but one type most prominently, 3.5 to 4 feet tall, with huge eyes, black eyes, blue eyes, and bald, large heads, thin bodies, often with very high energy field around them, and that this is very real, and it's not a product of any sort of mental illness. Now, that is completely incompatible with the Western worldview. Not only does it show that there are other intelligence at work here, but they can show us that they have technological powers, they have intelligence, they have capabilities that we can't even begin to approach. So this is about as shattering a confrontation as the Western worldview could expect to have. So in that sense, it's a game breaker. It means, and they also, just to make matters worse, they convey in the experiences, in the encounters, on the ships, through the eyes, through telepathic communication, they show us ourselves. They say, look, you're destroying the earth. It is not yours. You have to stop this. People become deeply troubled by this communication. And it's like it shows us our deepest, most destructive dimension of ourselves. And so it's a confrontation of great power, which is not welcome. Now, the society as a whole doesn't want to accept this. So they say, well, maybe it's psychological, or they attack me, or they, shoot the messenger, whatever. But a group like this is willing to consider it because it fits in with what we're trying to do, which is to overcome the insulated arrogance of the Western worldview and change the way we do things, change all of our institutions, the destructiveness, for example, to the ecology that the whole corporate economic system has brought about. Well, this phenomenon absolutely calls that into question. It challenges the very institutional basis of the culture.